Howdy class, got some tips from SA2 for you. The first thing that I want to go over is remember for the intro paragraph the formula hook, line, and sinker. Okay, a lot of you guys skip over the hook. A lot of you guys, you don't include a line section, which is the section for appropriate context. So do remember those. So the hook, obviously we know what the hook is. No snoozer hooks, please. Sometimes you guys will just put some fact that's kind of bland at the start of your essay, and I'm like, how does this hook me? How does it draw me in to your essay, into what you're doing? So make sure that the hooks are interesting. Make sure you figure out a way to captivate the reader's attention. There are lots of different ways to do this. You can use quotes, you can ask invigorating questions. The best way to do it is through description of the situation that you're trying to address, or the text or topic at hand. Okay, so no snoozer hooks. The title is part of the hook. If your title says Essay 2, or if your title says you know, global warming, those are very flat titles. A good format is to do a title and then a subtitle. And make it a little bit creative, give it something catchy, something with a little bit of flair, and then have a subtitle to explain it. Also, make sure that I can tell from looking at your title what your essay is about. If your essay has sort of to do with your title, but I can't really tell from the title alone what it's going to be about, that can be a little confusing. Please be mindful of that. The line equals relevant context. So the relevant context is whatever you need to establish the thesis statement. That's information about history, that's information about the situation legally, if you're arguing for a certain law to be passed or something. Any of the context that you need to make your thesis statement make sense, that's what goes in the line section. You want your line section to be fairly long, between, I would say, at the very least 3 sentences, probably more like 5. You start getting more than that, you know, you run the risk of these long, I call them Godzilla paragraphs. We don't want those either. Okay. The sinker, obviously, is the thesis statement. The thesis statement is an argumentative claim. Now, some of you produced what is essentially a report. You thought I wanted you to produce a report on a specific subject. I did not want you to do that. I wanted you to make an argument, okay? An argument about a social issue that you are personally interested in, and that you could offer a solution to. So that was obviously some sort of miscommunication or disconnect that happened there. So please keep in mind, especially going into Essay 3, we will be using the semiotic method, but it is also making an argumentative claim using the semiotic method. Remember, the formula for Essay 2 was problem, solution, so what? Very few people across the board adhered specifically to this formula. This is not the only way to do it, but this is a way to where if you do it this way, you will have all of the necessary components in place for your argumentative essay. Okay, so that was the formula that we used for Essay 2. Remember it. Unfortunately, we're moving to a new formula, as you all well know, which is sign, significance, and so what. Okay, so that's the new formula. This is the formula for claims, and the most important thing to know about that is claims go with topic sentences as well. This is the biggest disconnect overall, the biggest problem we have. Topic sentences need to follow an argumentative claim structure. Okay, for the last essay, that was problem, solution, so what. For this essay, it's sign, significance, so what. You can think of the topic sentence as a microcosm of the thesis, or like a smaller or more focused component of the thesis statement. If your topic sentence doesn't make a claim, you got a deduction for that, okay? So keep that in mind for Essay 3. You really want to follow these formulas for both the thesis and the topic sentence. Now, where does the thesis go? Into the intro. Where does the topic sentence go? Start of the body paragraph, okay? First sentence every time. Please do not use the first person I. Do not refer to yourself. Don't say me. These kinds of things, the reason we don't do it is because you don't really have the expertise to speak with that kind of, and also you do not know your readers in person. Okay, so there's no reason for you to reference yourself informally in that way. No alien landings. Critter, come here. No alien landings. What do I mean by this? Alien landings are when you provide a quote without a lead-in statement. So you'll end a sentence and then you'll start a new sentence and it'll be a quote from some article. I don't know who this article is. I don't know who the person is. I don't have any information about that to let that quote sort of be framed in a way that makes sense. So no alien landings. Always have lead-ins for quotes. And see, I drew you the little alien there. That's what a great professor I am. I draw things. Okay. Always provide direct quotations and citations in body paragraphs. A lot of times we like to reference things kind of broadly, and we don't want to quote it. A lot of times we'll just list the article, and so we think we can leave out the parenthetical citation. Please do the parenthetical citations, because it is good practice and it is something that you need to know. If you don't have citations, I don't know what comes from you or from somewhere else. Technically, that could be a plagiarism situation, so be very careful about that. Evidence over conjecture and hypotheticals, okay? A lot of you guys will make hypothetical statements, which are probably logical in essence, but that you didn't use any evidence to reinforce. You'll just sort of draw conclusions based on what you think would happen, and you'll sort of posit that as though it is true, 100%. The thing is that when we're dealing with argumentation, we're dealing with concrete facts. So you have to provide evidence. You have to be able to back up the claims that you make with evidence. If you don't use evidence to back up the claim, then the claim is just conjecture, and it's much weaker than actual evidence to fortify it. Always analyze your quotes for 2 or 3 lines if you can. Don't ever end a paragraph on a quote. Don't ever end one quote and transition to another quote. Give me some context, some information, some analysis in your own words about how the quote proves the claim that you've made. Okay? So that's another important thing. Another thing is explain the bloody knife. Okay? Don't let the evidence speak for itself. Tell me what you see. Don't think that I'll see the same thing that you see just by looking at the evidence you provide. Explain that evidence to me. Do so in the analysis section, the 2 to 3 lines that come after each quote. Okay? Avoid cliches and colloquialisms. I had a lot of those this time. I listed and marked every one of them. So if you have any question, if you're doing that, or if you want to know what that is and how to avoid it, go and look at my comments. I listed every colloquialism and cliche and informal expression that I could find. Please try to strike those. You're trying to be as formal as possible. Imagine you were talking to someone of extreme authority that you didn't want them to think that you were somehow not put together or something. Okay. Don't say in conclusion or in summary at the end. It's just really overused. It's a pet peeve of mine. Some people are probably okay with it in other writing classes. It's just something like every essay that I read says, in conclusion. You don't have to announce the conclusion. The conclusion should be tonally obvious. Okay? I should be able to tell what your conclusion is based on how it sounds and what it says and the sort of things it's dealing with. Also the way it's structured. It won't have a topic sentence in the same way that the others do. Remember the crap test? I got some bogus sources this time around. I didn't take off a whole lot for those, but please be careful. There's a lot of garbage out there. And like I said, even stuff that seems legit, a lot of times it isn't. So you got to be really careful. Look up the formatting, please. Some of you guys are completely, it's like, I guess you're learning a different formatting in a different class, and so you've used APA or something. I got some stuff in APA this time. There's no titles for paragraphs, none of that stuff. The citations are different. Look it up. Go to the Purdue OWL. There's resources on the Blackboard course shell. Critter, come here. There's resources on the Blackboard course shell for you to use. And also the Purdue OWL. Don't plagiarize. I've had a lot of cases of plagiarism this semester, and it really bothers me. I really like all of you guys as students, and I just feel like I don't want to go there. I don't want to go here. I don't want this level of awkwardness and nastiness, and just, it's not good. So I will catch you. I do catch you. The machine catches people. Be careful, please. Please do not plagiarize. And the last thing is read my comments. Please read my comments. I take forever to put these comments on there. It takes forever. It takes like 20 minutes per essay or more. And I put them on there so that you'll be able to internalize what I have to say, and you'll be able to change your writing in the future. So if you ignore my comments, that's not good, because you're not getting the feedback that you need to make your essay better. And if I don't see a marked improvement between essays, that's usually not a good thing. So please keep that in mind. I got gnats, I got my dogs, I got my chickens going off. It's chaos over here. I hope it's not chaos where you are. please be on the lookout for more videos. I'm going to make one more talking about the semiotic method because I know some of you guys are still struggling with that. So we'll go over that again, and I'll try to use some different resources and kind of make it a little more obvious. So keep it real, folks. The kids still say that, and I will keep in touch with you, and hopefully we end strong. Take care.